The purpose of this video is to demonstrate how to set up the Tokens Learning app within your Isidore site. So to add the Tokens Learning app to your site, click on the Add Tool button from your left-hand tool menu, and then from the listing of tools, scroll down to the Learning app sections, and then select the box next to Tokens, press Continue, and then press Finish on the confirmation screen to add the tool to your site. I've already added the tool to my site, so I'm going to click on it and then I can begin setting it up. The first thing you need to determine is how many tokens you want to be available for each student. This is kind of a delicate thing to establish, and you don't necessarily want to change it mid-semester due to equity reasons. So it is worth consulting with us, the Center for Online Learning, to discuss the budget that you want to set for your students. But for now, just because it's more of a demonstration video, I'm just going to set it to be 5. And then I'm going to set a date that I want my students to use the tokens by. It might be that I want to set it kind of right towards the end of the semester, but give myself a little bit of leeway so I'm not getting last minute requests. I'm not sure if this date's actually the 100% correct date, but you can make those determinations as well. I want to receive email notifications when students submit tokens so that I can get in there and approve them as soon as possible. So I'm going to leave this checked. Here are some of the categories that are stubbed in by default. So missed class and late assignment. You can add other categories, you can delete these categories, you can modify these categories. It's totally up to you. Again, I would encourage consulting with the Center for Online Learning, because we can kind of evaluate your setup for your classes and help provide some guidance on how many tokens each of these kinds of things should cost a student. To add a new category, I can, if I want to say maybe I want to give a token opportunity for students to miss quizzes, I can do that. And so maybe this is a 2 token item versus late assignments maybe a 1 token item. So let's say this is my setup. All I need to do then is press save. And the tool's ready to go at this point. But you should also communicate with your students how this tool is supposed to be used. We do recommend including a blurb in your syllabus about how tokens should be used, and then reviewing that in class if your class is meeting in person or meeting online. But making sure students really do understand the way in which the tokens should be used is important. So as a student, when I come into the tokens tool, I can see that I have a balance of 5 tokens allowed to be used up until April 24th, 2023. And I can see that these are the categories I'm allowed to use them for. And if I wanted to submit a token for a late assignment, I could click on this. I don't have to provide too many specific details. It is probably important to request that your students specify which assignment they're asking for an extension on, but it's important probably to also say, you don't need to tell me why you are using this token, just tell me what it's for. So I'm going to say, I just need assignment 3 to be reopened, essentially. So then I'll press submit, and then I'll press confirm. And now let's switch over into the instructor view. So as the instructor, I received an email letting me know that there's a tokens request submitted, and so I can have a preview of it within my email, but to approve it, I need to go into Isidore. So now that I've had some students submit token requests, I can see on my request tab that I have some items that need to be reviewed. So I can just press the review button and I can either accept or reject this token. In this case, I'll accept it, and I might write, the extension has been granted. So it is worth noting that there's not a deep integration with Isidore on this, so you will need to go into the assignments tool for this case and actually extend the deadline for the student. So I've granted the extension within the assignments tool, and I'll press save. The student will now receive an email notification letting them know the status of that. I have other token requests that I need to review, but then I can also see the balances that students currently have, how many they've used and how many they have remaining, and then I can also see the history tab where I can see the historical usage and the reviews that I've done for each student's tokens request. We have a lot of good information and best practices available on how to use tokens and how to communicate tokens with your students, so please contact us with any questions you have about using the Tokens Learning app.